You all know I am not shy when it comes to exposing my income, and it's not because I like to brag about it, because if you watched any of my last income reports, you know there is nothing to brag about. But I openly share how much I make as a YouTuber because I wish I would have seen more of these videos when I was growing my first channel in 2018. I mean, you always see YouTubers with fancy cars, new outfits, house hunting every week. And as a YouTuber not in the YouTube Partner Program, it's easy to assume that all of that comes from AdSense without realizing how much work actually takes to make enough money to see an AdSense payout. Which, if you don't know, there is a threshold of $100 you have to meet every single month before AdSense will even pay you out. And if you don't reach that, basically what happens is your money gets stuck in your AdSense account and it rolls over to the following month until you do finally meet that $100 threshold. So today I'm sharing how much this channel's made in the first 90 days of it being monetized, and I'll be comparing it to my other channel, so this way you can see the difference between CPMs on different niches. What's up, navigators? My name is Tiffany Day, and this is Navigating YouTube, a channel made for lifestyle creators to build their audience, influence, and income on YouTube. So it only makes sense that I would be exposing my own income so you have a better idea of what to expect. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so first things first, let's just look at a snapshot of each month of how much I made on Navigating YouTube for February, March, and April. That would have been the last 90 days. So February was the very first month I was monetized, and I made $76.18. In March, I had a jump of $139.59, and then in April, it actually went back down to $98.81. And if you actually look in April, that is because I only uploaded 2 videos. So I had a decrease in how much I was uploading, and that definitely affected my income. Now, something I want to share with you is I actually received the $76.18 that I earned in February, even though it was not a part of the $100 threshold. And that's because when you are connected to AdSense, AdSense actually connects all of your accounts into one. This is why it's so important when you are filling out your application and you're going through the 3-step process, that when it comes to number 2 and you're connecting your AdSense account, that you're filling that out correctly. Because if you already have an AdSense and you try to create another account, it will cause problems for you in the future if you ever want to get paid out. Okay, so something else is you're going to see top earning videos. And this is really good to keep an eye on because this lets you know what topics are actually bringing you in the most income. So this way, if you want to build a stronger monetization strategy without solely relying on AdSense, you can go off of these. Okay, so I know in the past I've actually mentioned that I was not allowed to show my CPM, and that's because AdSense had in their terms of service that you can't share that information. But recently, AdSense and YouTube made a couple of changes of how their metrics were displayed, and that part of the terms of service was actually removed from AdSense. So I'm just assuming that it's okay to show it. So let's go ahead and show you what my CPM was for the past couple months. Okay, so if we look at the comparison between my CPM and RPM, you see that I had $10.74, but I only had an RPM of $3.24. So technically, this is all I was getting paid per ad impression. Okay, so RPM and CPM are actually 2 different metrics, and CPM stands for cost per mil or cost per 1,000 impressions. This is also known as the amount that an advertiser is willing to pay YouTube to place ads on your channel for every 1,000 ad impressions. Now, I have heard a lot of YouTubers tell you this wrong, and this is where they're lying. It is not 1,000 views. An ad impression and a view is completely different. And an ad impression is counted when a viewer is watching the ad for at least 30 seconds, or the entire ad if the ad is less than 30 seconds, or if the viewer interacts with the ad, such as clicking on the ad and it takes them to the website. Once that is done, an ad impression is counted, and then that is what we get paid off of, not per view. Also, your CPM can vary between time of year, your niche, video topics, even your audience, and where the viewer is located. Okay, so now your RPM is revenue per mil, or this is the amount of money YouTube pays you after the ad playback, so all the ad impressions are calculated, and after YouTube takes its cut, which is 45%, and then you, the YouTube creator, gets to keep 55% of your income. Now, in in March, it went up. I had a 21% jump and an 87% RPM jump, which is crazy to me, but it definitely makes sense why I saw an 83% increase in my revenue. And it was the very first month that I was fully monetized all month long. And then in April, again, I only uploaded twice, the very beginning of the month, and you'll see here that I actually only decreased about 8% and then 15% in my RPM, and again 29% in my actual revenue. So this really is because of evergreen content. If you guys are not doing evergreen content, you really need to, because it is a game changer when it comes to just getting views without having to work as hard. And every time that I upload a video, it just stacks onto the views, it stacks onto the income, versus it just kind of leveling me out. You should always see an upward trend, and a lot of that comes from just getting views every single day from high quality evergreen content. So if I would have received as many views as I did in February with the CPM that I had in April, I would have seen $124.32 in April. And if I do that same math with the CPM that I saw in March, I would have had an income of $145.44, which would have definitely continued my increased trend I was seeing from month to month. But because I only published 2 videos, I did see lower amounts of views last month, and therefore I didn't make as much money. Now, as I mentioned, CPM has a ton of variables that determine how much an advertiser is willing to pay you, and one of those variables is your niche. And honestly, this is why I've been so excited to monetize navigating YouTube, because I wanted to really see what the difference was between a growth channel and a vlog channel. All right, now the moment you've all been waiting for, what are the differences between my CPMs depending on my niche? So, because if we look at my CPM, this is navigating YouTube, and you see that I had a CPM of $10.74 with an RPM of $3.24. But my motherhood channel, which is a vlogging channel, is $8.51, so less than this. And something you want to know is this is just how much advertisers are willing to pay you. The real important thing is your RPM, and my RPM is actually more money on my vlog channel than it is on my navigating YouTube channel, on this channel. And that could be because of my audience. If my audience isn't watching my ads all the way through on navigating YouTube, I'm not gonna get that ad impression. So this could just be that my audience was delivered more ads. Maybe I had mid-roll ads, which I have my mid-roll ads turned off on this channel, so that could be it. So they were just watching more ads. So much can go into it. And I want this to prove to you, don't really focus on your CPM, because this isn't what we're getting paid. This is just what advertisers are willing to pay. RPM is really what matters. So really focus on your RPM. Now that was in February. If you look in March between the 2 channels, you see that my CPM went up a lot, 21%. My RPM went up 87%. So this one stayed the same, but my RPM went up 10%. But over here, finally, my RPM was actually making more income than on my vlogging channel. So again, this could just kind of attest to my CPM went up, so my ads were worth more money. But this could also be that my viewers or my audience saw more ads, they stayed through the ads, they, clicked on the ads, they interacted with the ads, whatever it was. The playbacks were more valuable than over here. And then if we look last month, which is going to be a really good comparison, because last month I only uploaded 2 videos on each channel. And you see that across the board, I'm just down, but it's still more money over here for my CPM, and finally my RPM is a little bit more than here, but again, it's average. And then if we go to look at our views, we go to overview here, and we go overview here, you can kind of see that in February, we know that, I had about 24,000 views, and I made $76. Over here, I had 101,000 views. So this channel really does get 100,000 views every single month. And I made about $400. And then 23,000, I made $138. Over here, I had another 105,000 a month, another $450. And then again, 19,000 views with the $98 and 111,000 views with the $470. Okay, now that I fully exposed myself, let's go ahead and talk about some tips for you if you are or are not a part of the YouTube Partner Program. So when making money from YouTube, whether that's from AdSense, maybe affiliate income, brand sponsorships, you want to put money aside for taxes, because we're not taxed, and at the end of the year, you don't want the IRS to send you a huge bill that you're not ready for. Also, probably my biggest tip I talk to everybody about, do not let AdSense be the main goal for you. As you can see, you have to average about 20,000 views to make $100. And I only make about $400 to $500 on a channel that gets over 100,000 views every single month. This means unless your channel is pulling in videos that get 100,000 views per video, this is not going to be a reliable monetization strategy for you. Also, with how much CPM varies depending on what time of year to where you live, you don't want to rely on AdSense to pay your bills, because one month you may see a really high month and have a ton of income and be able to pay your bills with no problem. And then the next month you're going to fall short, you're going to have late fees, overdue bills, and you just don't want to be in that situation. So if you have not done so already, make sure you diversify your income even as a small YouTuber. It is never too early to start making money on YouTube and have a monetization strategy in place. And if you're confused on how to do that, you can check out this video next and subscribe for more ways to build your audience, influence, and income on YouTube.